Nothing to say?
Sometimes it's so one-sided that talking trash kind of feels wrong, you know?
Yeah, I've been there.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not this year, but in the past. Probably.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty much over. I mean, without Marchand, right?
You wish. Nah. Just you wait till Danton Heinen's back in the lineup.
Heinen.
Yeah.
Danton Heinen?
The one and only.
You're counting on Danton Heinen to save your season?
Yeah. Why, do you think that's bad?
It ain't good.
Low quality fans of a high quality Bruins team. That is not a dub. In fact, you could make the argument that we are getting our cheeks clapped. We are butt cheeks getting clapped. My goodness. This is not good. It's not inspiring. It has a certain devastating quality to it. I don't know. I feel like you guys are feeling the same vibes I'm feeling. It ain't good. It ain't good. I said in the beginning of the series, I'm not going to lose my mental over this. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it because this was pure underdog status. House money, all that good stuff. I still feel comfortable with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm really annoyed and I want to be angry, but I'm like being a good Irishman, keeping that down. And it wasn't fun to watch. In fact, there's some real annoying things about this. First of all, I don't even want to break down this game. So Bennett is back in, all right? So they're bringing their like daunted, I'm going to hit everyone 3 seconds late dude back in. Very physical guy. Bennett's a great part of that team. And the Panthers deserve a lot of respect for what they're doing to the Bruins to create this. There's plenty of stuff we can be frustrated at the Bruins for being bad about, which, boy, have they been. But there's a certain level of, yeah, the Panthers' forecheck and their talent and their speed are part of what's making this so difficult on the Bruins. So Bennett is back in. Andrew Ference is the banner captain. Andrew Ference is the banner captain after game 2 and the way it ended. And like 90 penalty minutes being doled out, like to the Bruins, I mean, just specifically them. Andrew Ference, the boys should be heated and should be ready to bring the physicality, and which is what you expected. You expected to be physical. Before the game, the league was like, we're going to have a close eye on this one, which, sure, I guess. What, fucking lamos, whatever. Andrew Ference is a banner captain. Our lineups are as such. Zacha, Geeky, Pasternak, Marchand, Cole, DeBrusque, JVR, Frederick, Brazeau, Lauco, Beecher, Maroon, Lindholm, McAvoy, Lohrei, Carlo, Forbort, Peak, Swayman. Peak is back in. They decide that Forbes is a better choice than Wotherspoon at this point, which would bite them in the ass for moments in this game. And then Lauco returns, knocking Belquist out of the lineup, which I think is probably the right decision there for now. Lauco actually was pretty solid for portions of this. Here's my issue. The response to game 2 was nothing. You talked so much about how there was going to be a response. And having that end, the game end that way was important to show that they weren't backing down. There's going to be physicality. Nothing. You didn't have a scoring chance in the first period. Yeah, sure, a puck bobbled on Bobrovsky awkwardly. That shot was missing the net. It was missing the net. It bounced off 2 bodies and got low on Bobrovsky. Okay. You took 3 shots in the first. It took until 28 minutes into the game to get to your 4th shot. By the end of the second, you had 8 shots on net. Where are we? So we're not beating them on the score, obviously, with that. We're not beating them in pressure. We're certainly not beating them by laying big hits offensively because you're not coming in on the forecheck because you're not getting any offensive zone time. Where are you beating them? Nowhere. You're not beating them anywhere, and you're not responding to anything. That's actually what pisses me off. You look at the 2 rosters, and yes, we've watched hockey all year long. This isn't me being negative about the Bruins. This isn't me being like just tearing them down or anything like that. We knew, go back to the preview, we were huge underdogs in this series. This series is not over by any means. But with the way the last 2 games has gone, We can have a certain tone about it right now. Why, when you're that big of underdogs, you have to bring something. That thing can be energy. It can be pure doggedness, ferocity. Nothing. You're losing every board battle. You're getting out hit. You're getting out physicality'd. There's nothing there. There was no response. And what bothers me about it is because, yes, that roster is better than our roster. And right now, what's more frustrating than their roster just being a higher end roster is the chemistry that they are displaying is so far beyond what we've got going right now. Is that going to last the whole series? No, you don't know that. Things could change in a heartbeat. Things could change. We've seen it mid-game how things could change. And one of the biggest scrutinies for Monty is this game starts and you're on your heels. It's just ridiculous. I don't understand how there's no energy. You're flat-footed in front of your crowd after the way Game 2 ended with Andrew Ferentz being the banner captain. Like, doesn't that get you pumped up a little? I know that you're the underdog. I know you're facing a team that's widely considered more talented than you. You have to at least bring it. And nothing for 2 periods again. Ever since February, that's been the MO of this team. Just total periods getting taken off. Half games, 3/4 of the game. I don't understand. I legitimately don't. Because you could tell me, well, Florida's team is just creating this vacuum that's not allowing the Bruins to do anything. And to a degree, you're totally right. You're totally right. But then why have we seen this exact same type of game against the Washington Capitals earlier this season? Or the Ottawa Senators multiple times this season? We've seen it against Detroit. We've seen it against Philly. This team existed in this state before this series. We obviously saw it in Toronto in a couple of games. Why is this a theme? That there's 40 minutes go by, you took 8 shots on net, you're getting out-attempted by triples. There's an issue somewhere, right? There's something going on. There's an issue somewhere in there. Is it coaching? Is it leadership? Is it just general chemistry? I have a feeling that a lot of it is chemistry-based. And I'm very excited for whatever the newer version of the Bruins is next year. This season ain't over, though, yet. It ain't over. It's a 1-game deficit, man. You don't know. But the frustrations that you all have right now and the things that you're so aggravated about, they're well-founded. And I can't sit here and complain about the refs because, well, the Bruins are never in the offensive zone. When are they going to draw penalties? That's usually where you draw penalties. And yeah, there were some awful calls in this one that changed the game. Legitimately changed the game. I'll completely give you that. But there's too many moments where you just look at the Bruins as the Bruins at 5-on-5 play or on the penalty kill or on the power play and you go, that's not good enough. Refs be damned. That's not good enough, man. So it's I guess what I'm trying to say is you're sitting here watching this, you're right to be frustrated and to be annoyed and to just think, what the hell is happening? Because there is a degree of it where you go, this is unacceptable no matter how you look at it. And Monty after the game said, I need to come up with a better game plan. Buddy, that was game 3. And you played this team last year. When's the better game plan coming, man? What do you mean? The better game plan is figuring a way to exit your own zone. Which has been obviously an issue again. But it's an issue when they have full autonomy over the puck. This doesn't make sense, but they have possession and time and space and still fail the clearances. That's not a compliment to Florida. That's just McAvoy or Lindholm just flubbing it away. Or Forbort. Brutal. And meanwhile, Lohrei is continuing to look really good, in my opinion. Carlo, who had a huge mistake in this one, a back-breaking mistake in this one, but for the most part, hasn't been our problem when it comes to clearing the puck out. God, Forbort's been bad. And McAvoy's been bad. And Lindholm's been bad. Now, varying degrees of bad, because, of course, some of these defensemen are held to a much higher standard than others. If McAvoy was playing like Forbort, we'd have a whole different conversation. But McAvoy hasn't been good. And don't go and get in the comments and be like, McAvoy's playing like Forbort. Come on, that's not fair. You know that's not fair. He's expected to do a lot more. A lot more. It's different. Either way, I guess I'm asking you to ease up a little bit. This team was huge underdogs. They're getting outplayed right now. We're not going to argue about that. They are absolutely getting outplayed. But the frustrations that are bubbling over for the way they're going about this and how porous they look across the board for large chunks of time, you are very justified in that. You are very justified in that. Want to talk about the game a little bit? Let's talk about the game a little bit. We'll talk about a couple grievances, things that are annoying. Zaka just being a fourth liner for the playoffs. Oh, no, I'm spoiling things. Anyway, let's talk about this game. Puck drops! 5:48 in, Zaka for holding the stick. We're going to the penalty kill. We kill it! Good start on the special teams. At 8:04 in, we're going to have more failed clearances. They've started, we're 8 minutes in, and they're just all over us. We have one shot on net. It's the bumbling puck, like I talked about earlier. Zaka, with a bad pass into our slot, creates a turnover, and the puck has worked to the left point, where Forsling is just going to hammer this toward the net. The bounces, it feels like last year, where the bounces seem to just be going their way, but this is pretty clever by Rodriguez. Puck bounces up in the air. It starts dropping. With Carlo about to go through his skull, Rodriguez is able to wait, gets it right when it's under the bar. It was not a high stick in my opinion, and then Carlo hits him, but it bounces past Swayman. It's 1-0, 8 minutes in. Okay, not a death sentence. We're not a death sentence. But midway through, we've had one shot on net, which was actually going wide, but bounced off several players to get in on Bob. And the Panthers have 8 shots, a few legitimate scoring chances, and a goal. How is this your response? How is that your response? And the biggest fear here, which I refuse to believe, is that was them trying to respond to game 2. Because that's a death sentence on the series. If that was them trying to respond. That would be pretty scary. 3:42 left. We finally get some ozone time. Finally put together a good shift. And Geeky comes in with a late hit on Barkov. We're going to the penalty kill. This was the first moment we're building momentum in the entire game. Here's why I'm annoyed at the call. Because, was it a late call? Absolutely, it came way too late. Absolutely, it was shoulder to shoulder. Barkov had already turned away from throwing the puck away. It was a late hit. What bothered me is, I'm watching Bennett hit guys after the whistle. Like, the whole first period, Bennett is out there like a wrecking ball. Wicked late hits. 3 or 4 seconds after the puck's getting moved. After the whistle, and I mean like a second after the whistle. Like there's no momentum. The whistle blows, pause, he hits somebody. It was a really weird call in the moment. We do kill it. Can't complain about the rest of this one, though, but I am going to point out some that bothered me because I get to do that. Second period starts. 3 minutes in, the Bruins need a change. Frederick collects the puck on our blue line, and without even looking up, just tries to clear it out. It gets knocked down, they go right back into our zone. They don't score off this or anything like that, but it was such a good example of where the Bruins were at that point. It would have been icing had that clear gone through, first of all. Second of all, you had time and space to make a play and to get a clean change out. But you panicked and threw it. It's not a good sign, man. It's not a good sign. 4:34 in. Lundell holding the stick of McAvoy. We're going on the power play. We still don't have a shot this period, by the way. So, power play is insanely cold and would not get a shot on that. All right, move on. 8:39 left. A brutal play on the blue line as McAvoy is fed a puck into his skates by Pasta. He misplays it. He can't locate it. The Panthers go the other way. McAvoy tries to force the turnover rather than playing defense. It leaves a 2-on-1 going the other way against Lorai. Rodriguez is able to get in on Swayman and does this nice little cut to the center. And Swayman has to move his feet, so he has to get a little lower. Rodriguez goes high glove, and Sway makes this save. I'm pointing out some positives here. What a fucking save. I don't need to swear here. I don't need to, but I'm gonna. Great save, Swayman. Keeping the team in it. And then 5:23 left. The Bruins finally have a great shift again. It's the second line. Multiple chances that just squeak through by the net. That just miss it. Now, this shift won't have any, shots on net. Why would they? But they have chances. And it's the only shift where Geeky and Zaka actually help Pasternak rather than anchor him to the ground for the entire game. It's a little hyperbolic, but not by a lot. Either way, McAvoy tries to deke through Tarasenko on the blue line while we have some exhausted Panthers players And rather than wrap it around or make the pass, and he had time, he tries to deke through him, and Tarasenko punches it away, allowing for them to get the change off. And as it gets punched out and then gets deep into our zone, remember, this is the second time this game we're building momentum. Literally the second time with 5 minutes left in the second period. We get into our zone, Lohrei high sticks. Lohrei is exhausted and is forced to stay on the ice because of McAvoy's play here. He high sticks Lorentz. It's a double minor. We're going to go to 4-minute penalty kill. And this was, of course, where the game changed. With a minute 37 into the first penalty kill. Forbort has the puck underneath the goal line, and he is going to try to hammer this against the wall and out, but all it does is just spit it into the left circle for an easy grab from the Panthers. They set back up, get Tarasenko in that left dot, who absolutely snipes top blocker, and it's 2-0. Power play goal for them. Not a death sentence, but we are finally building momentum. Twice in this game we've built momentum just a little bit and immediately getting called for a penalty. One of them, very legitimate. Lohrei absolutely high stick this guy. Now we have to go kill the other penalty because it was a double minor, and it's in the net. Exactly 1 minute later, the Panthers are set up. Tkachuk down on the goal line to the left of Swayman, whips this into the crease where Carlo gets beat to the inside by Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe gets a quick stick lift on him, just taps it past Swayman. Swayman never has a chance on this. It's 3-0 power play goal. Backbreaker. Because they have 3 goals. They have 3 goals. You have 8 shots on net. 8. They have 3 goals. It was a bad game. It was just not good. And honestly, out of those 8 shots, you have maybe a scoring chance. You could consider a scoring chance here or there for just times that you missed the net, but how do you even count those, right? Yeah, brutal. Third period starts. We get even worse news. Marchand took a reverse hit from Bennett at one point in the first period and was holding his arm and looked uncomfortable. Would play up until basically the 3-0 mark, and then down the tunnel would not return. So that's something to be concerned about. We do not have an update on that yet. 2:07 in to the third period. The Bruins are actually starting to build some momentum. They have a decent shift, and then they break Lauko out. And Lauko, in on trying to get inside on Ekblad, gets inside on him, tries to make a power move to Bobrovsky, and Ekblad gets around the collar, pulls him down, whips him right into Bobrovsky, crashes into Bobrovsky. Big scrum after that. They call Lauko for goaltending interference. So 3 times the Bruins have started to build momentum. 3 times a call was immediately made to stifle it. 2 of those calls were egregious. And again, I'm not sitting here blaming the refs, but because, again, this game was the Panthers' game. They won this game through and through. This was a horrible call. Ekblad horse collars him. Pulls him down, drives him into the net. Like, it's pretty clear that Lauko changed his edges to, like, skate around and just got pulled in. So, goaltender interference. I thought they were calling Ekblad for holding, which it should have been. Yeah. The Panthers get set up on the power play, feed to Montour, who blasts this top blocker. Beats Swayman cleanly. I don't think Swayman saw this. I think Beecher was screening him from the slot, and he didn't get any of it to block it. So, that's a 4-0 power play goal once again. That's 3 power play goals for them. Kill a fucking penalty, boys. Bad calls are bad calls. You got to kill a penalty. And about 5 minutes into the period, 15 minutes left of the game, for the quick math out there, a delayed penalty allows the Bruins to set up. Funny thing, I didn't like this penalty call, oddly enough. Yeah, Verhaeghe, I believe, was getting called for interference, but it was kind of just a rub out on the board, so I don't know. Either way, a delayed penalty allows the Bruins to get set up in the offensive zone, and Forbort puts Beecher in a terrible spot. He comes across the blue line and just softly touches it to Beecher, who has 2 Panthers players in front of him. This could have been a turnover the other way easily, but Beecher quickly handles it, sends it over to DeBrusk on the left side, who's going to bump it to Lauko, who's in the left dot, who sniper-Ernie and chase! Short side. 1 goal for the Bruins. It's 4-1. A little bit of life comes back in the building. All right. And then 4 minutes later, this all starts with Lohrei. He creates the turnover in the defensive zone when we were pinned down. He gets it over to McAvoy, who feeds pasta in the neutral zone, who sees Lohrei now sprinting over the logo. And he's going to pass it to Lohrei, who's going to take the blue line. It's a 2-on-1 with all that speed. And Lohrei, beautiful play, gives a little shimmy. I believe Ekblad's in front of him. No, I don't think it was Ekblad. Who's 7? Kulikov. Kulikov's in front of him. He's going to give a little shimmy and then just kind of scoot his way to the right. And as soon as Kulikov changes his edges, just a little bit, shifts his hip, goes, okay, I'm ready for what you're going to do. He goes, excellent. You shifted towards me. Boom. Right over to DeBrusk, who absolutely snipes top glove. And it's 4-2. A lot of sniping going on in this one. Now, the Bruins will have a chance. With 8:37 left, Mikkola, he goes for interference, taking DeBrusk out of a play. We're going to the power play. And Pasta had a wide open net. Kulikov blocks the shot. And Brazeau had a doorstep attempt. Bobrovsky gets it with a stick. And DeBrusk also has a doorstep chance. It goes posting out. Brutal. Just brutal. 1:24 left. Reinhart gets the empty netter. It's 5-2. And then 1 minute left. Pete goes for cross-checking. And Rodriguez is left alone in the left dot during this penalty kill and absolutely hammers his top glove. It's 6-2. Power play goal for them. That's 4 power play goals. And that's your final. And we can be upset. Of course we are. We're Bruins fans. This is a bummer. But you have no one to blame but the Bruins for this loss. I mean, yeah, you can criticize the referees for certain things. You can get upset about non-calls and things of that nature. But, I mean, the Bruins didn't do enough. They just didn't. Too many shifts. Too many shifts where they just could not get out of their own zone. Too many bad turnovers. Just not enough. Not enough. And the first game note I have, a Marchand injury is backbreaking because our top 6 is in shambles right now. I hate to say that losing Heinen was a big part of this, but the Zacha, Geekie, Pasta line, Zacha and Geekie cannot make a play to save their lives for Pasta. Pasta is buzzing. I cannot blame Pasta for going cold in this series. He's getting zero help. And every time Geekie gets in the offensive zone, and this is what bothers me so much, is he gets in the offensive zone and he's on the puck and you hear his name a bunch in the offensive zone. You're like, Geekie, yeah. And then every time he turns it over or misses high and wide. Every time. And Zacha's been no better. I'm not excusing him. But it's just that his name is said so much. And it's like the defenseman who, it's like the polar opposite of the defenseman who you don't hear about, right? Like you never hear Carlo's name. If you never hear Carlo's name, it's because he's doing his job well. Well, we're hearing Geekie's name a ton, and he's doing his job poorly. Abysmal. Just awful. Pasta is getting zero help from the forwards on his line. Zero. We don't have enough in the top 6 right now. That's obvious. We know that. But I feel for Pasta because he is laying it all out there on the line, and people are judging him way too harshly right now. Way too harshly. I already mentioned the Marchand thing. I think McAvoy's hurt. I have no other explanation for this. I've never seen McAvoy play like this, especially when, everything's on the line. You can say what you want about your frustrations with McAvoy. I saw him all last video, but McAvoy's a great hockey player. He's not Cale McCarr. He's not Adam Fox. I get that. I know he didn't reach the level we thought he could. He did not reach that level, and he won't. But he is an excellent star defender. Is he a superstar? No. He's a star defender, though. He's a true top defenseman. He is. He's playing like shit right now. It's awful. The turnovers he's responsible for are abysmal. I really think he's hurt. I just can't think of another. I think it's a wrist injury, too, because the way he's losing the puck, it's just, there's no power on anything. I don't know, wrist or shoulder, I'm guessing. I don't know. It sucks. But I can't believe that this guy's healthy right now. And I know at this time of year, no one's 100% healthy, but I can't believe he's even kind of healthy. Anyway, it's a 1-game deficit. You win the next game in Boston, who knows? Best of 3. But yeah, the Bruins look outclassed right now. But that was always the conversation going into this series. It was. It sucks. And I'm not trying to be negative. But the Bruins were huge underdogs for a reason. Let's just see if we can make some noise. Tire them out. I don't know. Make the next series for the Rangers easier. Sorry, Canes fans. No, I want to see this Bruins team really bring it to them. Have a great game 4. Make this Panthers team earn it. If you're not going to win the series, which I still believe the Bruins can win the series, but if you're not going to win it, just don't whimper out. Take the hits. You get the whole offseason to rest. Take the hits. Make some plays. Make this team sweat it out. They came in as huge, heavy favorites. Give them some doubt to build off of. I don't know, sounds kind of fun to me. Go Bees. Go Bees! And once again, it's time to give shout-outs to those who are keeping the lights on for this channel. We gotta shout out our top line tier to start. Let's start with Erica Poli, Colin Nolan, Len Krusevich, The Bugman, Brock Nope, Hans Slomo, Tiffany Hagel, Chris and Erica, Coach D, The Atomic Lizard, Bradley Johnson, Aaron Adams, Just Aaron, Darren Woodbury, Brett Arney, Pincent, and Nick Zatrullo. You guys and gals are absolute studs. But we can't mention the studs without mentioning the Stallions, our all-star tier, high-quality inspectors, John Kirk, Jacob Pratt, Heil E. Coyote, Adam Ella, Bruin Smash, Tyler McCourt, Tupton D. Tashi, Joel, Abraxion, DeKingery, The Only Newts, A Tasty Snack, Doots42, and Jeremy. I can't say thank you enough. I appreciate all the support. You're absolute legends, stallions, whatever great adjective we can work in here. Thank you, everyone, from the depths of my heart, and go Bees!